Is Morocco quietly becoming the next Dubai? While the world watches the Gulf states and Asia's manufacturing tigers, something extraordinary is happening on Africa's northwest edge. A kingdom is making a radical bet, billions of dollars wagered on a single audacious vision to transform from Europe's agricultural neighbor to the globe's next premier logistics superpower. This is FinDesk, and today we're investigating Morocco's grand economic pivot, a calculated strategy to replicate the UAE's industrialization miracle with a twist the world didn't see coming. Consider this. In 2007, Morocco's largest port handled barely 2 million containers annually. Today, the Tanger-Med complex processes over 9 million TEUs, making it the largest port in Africa and the Mediterranean, surpassing even Barcelona and Valencia. But here's what's truly striking. Morocco isn't just moving containers, it's building them, and cars and airplanes. In 2023, Morocco became Africa's largest automotive exporter, surpassing South Africa. Even more remarkably, Morocco now exports more cars than several established European manufacturing nations. How did a country with virtually no automotive industry 20 years ago achieve this? The answer lies in two strategic manufacturing hubs, Tangier and Kenitra. Renault built its first Moroccan plant in Tangier in 2012. Today, the Renault Tanger-Med facility produces over 400,000 vehicles annually, making it one of Renault's largest plants globally. PSA Group followed with a major facility in Kenitra that produces 200,000 vehicles a year. But Morocco didn't stop at assembly plants. The kingdom pursued something more valuable, the entire supply chain. Today, Morocco has over 250 automotive component manufacturers, everything from wiring harnesses to seats to advanced electronics. This ecosystem approach mirrors exactly what China did to dominate manufacturing. The automotive sector gets the headlines, but Morocco's industrial vision extends much deeper. Boeing, Safran, Bombardier, these aerospace giants have established major operations in Morocco. The country now exports over $2 billion in aerospace products annually, with components ending up in aircraft manufactured in Seattle, Toulouse, and Montreal. The strategy is identical across sectors. Create specialized industrial zones with tax incentives, train local workers to international standards, guarantee stable power and logistics, and attract anchor tenants who pull in their entire supply chain. Morocco controls over 70% of the world's known phosphate reserves, the critical ingredient for fertilizers. For decades, the kingdom simply exported raw phosphate rock. That's changing dramatically. Morocco is now investing billions to move up the value chain, building fertilizer production facilities, developing specialized agricultural chemicals, and creating higher-margin processed products. It's the classic resource-to-manufacturing transformation that Norway executed with oil and gas. This isn't just smart economics, it's geopolitical chess. As global food security becomes increasingly critical, controlling not just phosphate reserves, but the entire fertilizer supply chain gives Morocco enormous leverage. Here's where Morocco's vision diverges from the UAE model and becomes potentially more transformative. While the UAE built its empire primarily serving as a middleman between East and West, Morocco is betting heavily on South-South trade, specifically becoming the gateway between Africa and the world. Morocco has aggressively expanded diplomatic and economic ties across West Africa. The kingdom has applied to join ECOWAS, Economic Community of West African States, and has signed free trade agreements with several African nations. Moroccan banks, telecom companies, and industrial firms are expanding across the continent. This isn't just charity, it's calculated strategic positioning. Africa is the world's last major growth frontier. Morocco wants to be the natural entry point for global companies seeking African markets and the natural exit point for African exports. Perhaps the most ambitious project is the proposed Nigeria-Morocco gas pipeline, a $25 billion project that would run over 5,600 kilometers along Africa's Atlantic coast, passing through 13 countries. This isn't just about energy, it's about creating an entirely new economic corridor that bypasses traditional Mediterranean and European routes. It represents a physical manifestation of Morocco's South-South strategy and its bid to anchor a West African economic bloc. If completed, this pipeline would fundamentally reshape regional trade patterns, providing Morocco with energy security while creating infrastructure that naturally channels West African trade through Moroccan ports and logistics networks. Morocco's traditional economic model was simple: export to Europe, particularly France and Spain. But European economic growth has stagnated and political uncertainty has increased. Morocco is systematically diversifying. The United States has become Morocco's second-largest trading partner, thanks to the 2006 Free Trade Agreement. Chinese investment has poured into infrastructure projects. Gulf states are financing massive renewable energy developments. This diversification isn't just prudent risk management, it's a declaration of independence. Morocco is signaling that it's no longer content being Europe's agricultural periphery or low-cost manufacturing annex. The kingdom is building an economy that can stand independently on the global stage. Morocco is also betting heavily on becoming a renewable energy giant, specifically a supplier of green hydrogen and electricity to Europe. The Noor Ouarzazate solar complex is already one of the world's largest concentrated solar power plants. Morocco aims to have 52% of its power generation from renewables by 2030. But the real prize is exporting green energy to Europe as the continent desperately seeks to decarbonize and reduce Russian energy dependence. Morocco is positioning itself as Europe's clean energy supplier, a role that could generate billions in annual revenue while ensuring European strategic interest in Moroccan stability. Can Morocco actually pull this off? So we return to our opening question: is Morocco becoming the next Dubai? The parallels are striking: massive infrastructure investment ahead of demand, strategic geographic positioning, leveraging free zones and tax incentives, building entire industries from scratch, and creating deadlines through mega events. But Morocco faces challenges the UAE largely avoided: political stability in a region with significant unrest, managing a larger, more diverse population with higher expectations, executing projects in a country with less capital and established institutions, competing with more established manufacturing centers, while Africa itself remains challenging for business. Yet Morocco has advantages too: actual geographic centrality to global trade routes, significant natural resources beyond hydrocarbons, established manufacturing ecosystems already attracting global giants, and membership in multiple economic communities providing market access. By 2030, we'll know if Morocco's grand gamble paid off. Will Tanger-Med rival Singapore or Dubai as a global logistics hub? Will Moroccan factories supply the world? Will the kingdom successfully pivot from European dependency to global integration? The next 5 years will determine whether Morocco joins the elite club of nations that achieved rapid industrialization or becomes another cautionary tale of ambition exceeding execution. But one thing is certain: Morocco is no longer content with its traditional role. The kingdom is rewriting its economic destiny, and the world should be paying attention.
This is FinDesk. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.